Have you ever read two different articles about the exact same event and felt like you were on two different planets? It's confusing, right? Well, today we're going to become text detectives. We're going to use the space race as our case study to really master a critical skill, how to read between the lines and see the hidden stories in everything. You ready to crack the code? Let's get into it. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how one single event can somehow create two totally different tales. Then, I'm going to give you what I call the Text Detective Toolkit. With those new tools, we'll dig into a few different accounts of the space race, build our own balanced view, and then finally, we'll talk about why this skill is basically a real-world superpower. So, first things first, how can one event create two completely different stories? This is really the heart of our investigation today, getting a handle on how a single set of facts can be spun into narratives that are polar opposites. Okay, just look at these two headlines. They are both about the exact same proposal for a new skate park. Headline A, it paints this awesome picture of fun and freedom. Makes you feel good about it, right? But then, look at headline B. It warns of a costly plan that threatens the neighborhood. Whoa. Suddenly, the same idea sounds kind of dangerous. The facts didn't change at all, but the story and how you feel about it is completely different. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How is that even possible? How can two writers look at the very same plan and come away with such wildly different descriptions? Well, the answer is all about the tools they're using to shape how we think. To really see what these authors are doing, we need our own set of tools. So welcome to the Text Detective Toolkit. I'm about to give you the 3 key concepts you absolutely need to analyze pretty much any text you'll ever come across. First up, perspective. The best way to think about this is like a pair of glasses. Every single author wears a unique pair that colors how they see the world. It's their personal viewpoint, and it's shaped by everything, their experiences, their beliefs, all of it. Next in the toolkit is bias. Now, bias is when an author doesn't just have a perspective, they're actively trying to get you to see things their way. They'll use slanted, emotionally loaded words like triumphant versus costly to kind of nudge you over to their side of the argument. And the final tool is purpose. This is the author's end game. It's their goal. What do they want you to do, think, or feel after you're done reading? Are they trying to persuade you, just inform you, maybe even entertain you? Every piece of writing has a mission, and our job as detectives is to figure out what that mission is. Okay, our toolkit is ready to go. Now it's time to put it to work on our main case study, the space race. Let's start by listening in on 2 very different voices talking about that time. Wow. I mean, the divide here is just crystal clear. Author A calls the space race a monumental leap, a glorious moment. Their purpose is pretty obvious, to persuade us that this was a noble, heroic achievement. But then you jump over to author B. They call it a costly gamble and a propaganda battle. Their purpose? To convince us it was just a reckless, politically driven stunt. This chart just shows the power of bias so clearly. Just look at the word choices side by side. Author A's words, triumphant, glorious, bold, they're all designed to make you feel this sense of pride. But author B's words, costly, fierce, dangerous, they're meant to make you feel suspicious and concerned. It's the same event, but the language creates 2 completely different emotional realities for the reader. But of course, big historical events are almost never just a simple 2-sided story. So now, let's make our investigation a little deeper. We're going to bring in 2 new voices to help us create a richer, more complex picture of what the space race was all about. So first we meet author C, who sounds a lot like a scientist. They see a triumph of human ingenuity and call it the next logical step for humanity. Their perspective is all about scientific progress. But then we have author D, maybe a social critic, who focuses right in on the exorbitant cost and the domestic problems neglected. Their perspective is all about social priorities and what got left behind. You know, to make this even easier to grasp, let's just give each perspective a symbol. For author A, it's the trophy. This is the hero's story. For author B, it's clashing flags, the battle. For author C, it's the telescope, the explorer's view. And for author D, it's the scales, weighing the cost. Seeing them all laid out like this really helps us instantly get the core idea of each viewpoint. So, we've broken down all the different perspectives. Now comes the most important part of the whole process. It's time to build your own balanced view. This is where we go from being a detective gathering clues to being a judge who has to weigh all the evidence. Let's just zoom in on a single moment, the launch of America's first satellite. Author A frames it as a bold display of ingenuity. It sounds confident, powerful, but author B describes a hurried America that finally managed to get a satellite up. That sounds almost desperate, doesn't it? Reactive. It's the exact same event, but the bias in the language makes the meaning feel worlds apart. So, how do you actually build a strong argument out of all this? You use this simple but incredibly powerful framework: claim, evidence, and reasoning. First, you state your claim, your main point, one that shows you see how complex the issue is. Second, you back it up with evidence, pulling direct quotes from our different authors. And finally, you explain your reasoning. This is where you connect the dots and explain why that evidence proves your claim. And here it is. This is a perfect model of what a balanced claim looks like. Notice how it refuses to just pick a side. Instead, it weaves together the different views. It acknowledges the monumental achievement while also giving weight to the exorbitant cost. That is what sophisticated thinking sounds like. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section. Why does any of this matter, right? We've been practicing with history, but this toolkit isn't meant for a museum. It's for you to use every single day. Being a text detective makes you a smarter, more informed person. It's that simple. You'll be able to spot the perspective and bias in the news, you'll understand the real purpose behind social media posts, and you'll make better decisions because you can actually see an issue from all sides. This isn't just about getting a good grade. It's about navigating a really complex world with clarity and confidence. So, I'll leave you with a challenge. Think about a story in the news you've been following, or maybe a debate you had with a friend. What part of that story are you only seeing one side of? Go out there and be a text detective. Find the other perspectives. I promise you, the way you see the world will never be the same. Thanks for joining the investigation.